So when I talk about gamifying goals and I get motherfuckers that like, yo, okay, like what? Man, fuck you and fuck your goals. You clearly don't take it serious enough. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to day 8 of the 30-day challenge. Very excited for y'all to be a part of this because it's about gamifying your goals. It's something that I've talked about quite a lot, and oftentimes it gets like a scoff to it. You're like, oh yeah, right. And I can't tell you, again, I've told you, like, I hate hustle culture. Like, you just work, and you die. Like, at what point, like, is our work-life balance just completely so fucked? And is our mindset on working and achieving all this stuff for what? For what? We'll talk about it a little bit later. Like, I'm going to be very real with you guys on my goals and why I have my goals where I am. And I'm very specific with the numbers of what association to specific rewards that I get for the hard work that I put in. And it's for a fucking reason. We built an entire app based on gamifying your goals because of this. So I want to let you know, like, 25 to 40% is the number that you get associated with when you start to gamify your goals as far as succession rate and actually accomplishing them. 25 to 40% higher. So you're sitting here telling me you want to fucking achieve a goal and you haven't created any type of a reward for you. And then I really want to blow your mind is when you acquire an accountability partner, or it doesn't necessarily have to be an accountability partner, but an accountability aspect to it where there's checks and balances, you get to add another 20% on top of that. Go do the research. It's out there. So when I talk about gamifying goals and I get motherfuckers that like, yo, okay, like what? Man, fuck you and fuck your goals. You clearly don't take it serious enough. For me, my goals, I'm going to do everything I can to ensure that I get those accomplished. And for me, gamifying it is how I do it. And I don't give a shit if that's pay yourself a bonus, get a fucking blowjob. I don't care if it's go buy a new car, go buy this, reward yourself, reward your family, go on that vacation, buy that dream house, buy that vacation home, buy the exotic car, buy a farm, buy a truck, buy an excavator. I don't care. Start to come up with what your goals are and find an equal value reward in association to it, because now what you're going to be able to do is increase your success rate by 25 to 40%. And then when we start to apply what we do here as far as accountability goes, and accountability doesn't have to be the VIP program, I would at least encourage you have the thread for this homework as a level of accountability, but it could be even as so much as making a promise to your daughter, making a promise to your wife. Those are 2 things that I've done in the last 72 hours about goals that I have in my mind as a fucking man that I want to achieve. And I want a reward. And that reward is going to come from the fulfillment that I get from being able to provide certain things to my wife and daughter. And so that me verbally saying them, hey, this is what I want to do if I accomplish this, that adds in a 20% succession rate on the already 25 to 40% that I created by just associating a goal and gamifying it here. And I want to talk about, just for a second, so B.F. Skinner, y'all can look him up. He's the one that created the Skinner box, which is a strategy of determining in studies with mice. I don't necessarily recommend this. Don't come after me, PETA. But, there was positive and negative reinforcement through this Skinner box on associations of what mice were doing. If mice did things right, they got a reward. If mice were doing things wrong, they got punished for it. So there was a positive and a negative reinforcement associated to tasks that they were accomplishing. And that psychology can get drilled into your head all the way as deep as what I'm talking about here with the 25 to 40% succession rate. So when you start to go through and actually, again, attach a tangible reward to your goal, it makes it more fucking fun. This is Jogan Byron. He's our CFO, and he needed a bunch of stuff. sent to him, like literally like 3 years tax returns, 3 years bank statements from like 7 different bank accounts. I mean, it was an absolute nightmare. It was me just trying to unwind a ball of yarn. It was just absolutely incredible. I needed Heather's help in doing this. We ended up gamifying it. Like, we literally drank 2 bottles of wine while we sat down for like 4 hours and went through all this. And then we went in the room and fucked. And that for us was gamifying something that otherwise would have just been an absolute nightmare, something that we would have put off. But now we created a fun and exciting atmosphere out of it. And guess what? It got accomplished. So again, like, obviously I say that in a comedic way, but like, I don't care if it's a sexual favor from your wife. Have this conversation with her. Hey, babe, like, this is something that I really want to do, and I would really like if we sat down and found out a way to make this fun for me or fun for us, or something that you do as a family. You know, again, go to Belize, take that trip, take the cruise, buy the car, buy the Rolex, buy the exotic, whatever it is that you can associate. Obviously, it has to be, you know, in tandem with like what the reward is that it actually produces. But you've got to, maybe it's time off. I gamify myself all the time when it comes to specific tasks. I know we talked about yesterday on time blocks. Those time blocks are set there for me to get shit done. If I get that shit done in a lesser amount of time, I've bought myself time back. My efficiency has allowed me the opportunity to buy some of my time back to do what I want with it. Sometimes that's work. Sometimes that's not work. Sometimes it's a midday fool around session. Sometimes let's go outside, crack open a beer, and sit on the patio. Whatever the case is, I gamify everything inside of my time block schedule, because I now, it's like trying to beat the GPS, right? You set a destination. As men, we're gonna be winners. We're gonna beat this GPS. It's the same thing. If I set myself a time block for an hour or an hour and a half, and I get this accomplished in 45 minutes, I've now bought myself time to decide what I want to do. And that reward for me might be move on to the next task, so that these compound throughout the day and I can get off early, whatever the case is, right? So for us, it comes down to that efficiency. I don't believe that you should be working 5, 6, 7 days a week, working 10, 12, 14 hours a day. I think that that's not a good atmosphere to be in. Going back to what I talked about yesterday and the day before is about being efficient. Everything in, you know, this 5-day window that we're working on in this 30-day challenge is efficiency strategies. So yes, there was a time in my life when starting the business where I had to do that. And then I wanted to gamify it because that's not the life that I wanted to live. So, hey man, if we get to these certain thresholds, I got to buy my time back. I got to take weekends off. I got to take nights off. I get to have day dates with Heather. I get to sit in the floor and play Barbies with my daughter sometimes at Tuesday on a 2 p.m. because I got shit done in an appropriate amount of time. Maybe sometimes that's a midday nap. I had an injury in the gym yesterday and it threw my entire day off, but I got specific tasks done in a specific amount of time. I was able to take a 30-minute nap, 3 p.m. in the afternoon, and no one could tell me fucking shit. No one could say that I couldn't, because I got my tasks done. There was a time period when I was doing my 4 a.m., wake up and my jam session. From 4 a.m. to 6 a.m., I got so much done, that by the time 10 a.m. came around, I could literally take the entire rest of the day off and have zero entrepreneurial guilt about it. I didn't feel guilty about spending time doing things that I loved because I have been tracking the succession rate that I had, but I gamified it. There was some days I got done at 10, and guess what? I made the conscious decision to keep working, because what I was doing at that time is I took every Friday off. I gamified it. If I could crush it, again, at the time, I was waking up at 4 in the morning, just killing it until 10 a.m. And then from 10 a.m. to 4, 5, 6 p.m., depending on what the day was and what our life looked like and whether or not I chose to take that day off or whatnot, I gamified it. And the rules that I sat down with my family and decided was we had 2 rules. Either we could work Monday through Thursday all month long and take every Friday off. So my wife and I had a 3-day weekend every weekend, right? Or we worked that Friday every month, and then we got to take for 3 weeks, and then we got to take an entire week off. So for us, it was 4-day work week, or it was 3 5-day work weeks and a full week off. That's how we gamified it. So you can start to get real creative here on what it is that you do. Now, I'm going to bring up this graphic on the screen right here. It's very simple. There's other gamification apps and things that you can do, but simply write down what your goals are and then write down what your rewards are. And then we take it to the next level and we really associate a time to it. This goal date is it is for a very specific reason. And the reason for that is called Parkinson's Law. If you Google Parkinson's Law, what that does is whatever you allocate time-wise for something specific, a specific task, a specific goal, your effort and your reward and your timeline will grow or shrink based on that date. So for us, that's the reason why something like the Tim Ferriss, the 4-hour work week works. That's why, the 12-week year works. It's the psychology to those books and those studies and that education. It comes back to the psychology here in the Parkinson's Law is that if you associate a specific time frame to something, you will fill it, whether that takes in it adds time or it detracts time. So when you have these goals and you set these dates, it is very vital that you think real long and hard on how much fucking leeway you give yourself. You give yourself enough rope, you're going to end up hanging yourself. Don't do that here. We're vigilant motherfuckers around here in Uncaged. So be very direct, be very methodical. Now, I'm not saying don't give yourself unrealistic expectations. Don't put too much stress and weight on your shoulders that you can't fulfill it, because then that's going to start giving you negative self-talk, and that's not what we want. But let's be very realistic. If you're aggressive, be aggressive. That's fine. But be aggressive realism. Okay, be very focused on what it is that you're doing and why you're doing it, and be intentional with the goals that you're setting, the rewards that you're giving yourself, and the times that you're associated. And I'm telling you, you will turn into a monster. This is very vital here. And again, I don't care. These rewards, they don't have to cost money. I don't care what it is. It could be time off. It could be quality time together. It could be rewarding yourself with buying yourself something that you've wanted. It could be rewarded with giving your family an experience that y'all desire. I don't care what it is. And I want to be very, I want to echo this, and I don't want people to skim over this. This needs to be decisions that are made with you and your entire family when it comes to big things like this, because you wouldn't be here without them. I would not be where I am today, not only without Lottie, but definitely not without Heather. If she is the backbone in this entire family, she's the one that literally supports everything that we're doing here. And if I didn't have that level of support, if I didn't have her bought in, if I didn't gamify this for her as well, all the psychology that I just talked about is out the window. So keep your family involved in this. Keep your family in open conversation. Figure out the things that are important to them. Because you right now might think that the reward for them is to make millions and millions and millions of dollars. But then you end up 10 years down the road and you got millions and millions of dollars, but you're fucking divorced and you're sitting there with part-time custody of your child. Is that really the life that you want? Because when you start to make some of these decisions and you start to set some of these goals, if you are married, There's more people that need to be bought into these goals. There's more people that need to have a say-so in what is going to be accomplished and how much effort goes into it, as well as what the reward looks like. Because depending on who you are and the type of person that you are, I get the gamification for me is much more magnified when it's an experience or something that we get to share as a family. Getting to do things for Lottie, getting to take her and to get another stamp on her passport means way, way, way more to me than going out and buying something for just me. Being able to spend quality time with Heather because I put in so much effort that I was able to buy back my time and have a full day to sit there and do whatever it is she wants to do. I don't care if that's lay in bed and Netflix and chill. I don't care if that's to go out and day drink and have fun. I don't care if that's to sit down and literally work on a business for her or just to listen to her or, again, I mean, just whatever it is. So sit down, use this homework to write down some of the goals that you have. Give yourself an actual tangible reward where you can literally feel justified in putting in the amount of effort to accomplish this, and then set a date because we're going to get shit done. Guys, thank you so much. I can't wait to see you tomorrow.